All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Episode 17. We are fresh off a tie against Salernitana. We couldn't manage to clinch the Scudetto at the Maradona, unfortunately. A lot of fans showed up, heavily disappointed, but we move, right? We have Lazio currently playing in about an hour against Sassuolo. If they manage to lose that game, then technically Napoli do win the Scudetto that way. I don't want that to happen. We have Udinese up next away. We have about 11,000 fans traveling down there, so I would prefer we just beat Udinese and celebrate down there. But who knows? This season's been crazy. None of us expected a tie, so do we expect a Lazio win? Who knows? Anything can happen. So real quick, we'll get into the game we just played against Salernitana. What went wrong? Why we lost or tied? Sorry, might as well be a loss, all right. And we'll have Dan here explain his experiences at the stadium. Okay, so let's get into the match we just played against Salernitana. Tell me what went wrong. How were the fans' reactions? All that jazz. Let us know.
Oh man. What went wrong really was just the fact that we dominated the first half and just couldn't score a goal. I mean, we controlled the game. We were getting the ball in front of goal, and we just couldn't get into the net. The reaction of the fans in the first half was simply they knew the goal was coming, and when the second half started, you could feel that it was coming, and it did. And then I think at that point it was elation, and everybody was like, "Oh my God, we're doing this! We're gonna actually win the Scudetto!" And it's been so long, and my kids are next to me, and all the flags are everywhere, and it's a sea of blue, and so it was a lot of joy, right? For me personally, Mario, it was a little bit weird. I was happy, can't lie, but I was also sad because you weren't there at that moment, right? I had
Mhm.
about 10 minutes of just thinking about everything that we've, been able to experience together, being Napoli fans. And I remembered some of the moments like when we watched the first Champions League game that Napoli got back into versus Chelsea when Pocho scored. I thought about that game we went to when we played Liverpool. I think it was in the Europa League. So yeah, there was just some things that I was, going through my brain and really wanting you to be there. So it was a really weird feeling. Um, and then all of a sudden, as soon as I get done feeling that way, and I'm just settling into it being at the end in the 84th minute, crisis happens. The
I
worst thing
shouldn't
that
be
you can
laughing, but
imagine.
that's just
The
so fucked
worst,
up.
it is, man. The worst thing that you could imagine happens in the 84th minute. A crazy goal and bad plays from it seems like the entire team. Medit
Mhm.
had no chance to save that because he couldn't even
No,
see the ball coming. Too
it was
many
an
players
amazing
went his
shot.
way.
Yeah.
It was an amazing shot. It was an
But
amazing
he was too
dribble,
open.
amazing shot.
But he was
Yeah,
too
yeah. I
open.
mean, they did exactly. They didn't close on him. So, you can talk about that a little bit more when you get going, but
Yeah.
because you saw it better than I did on TV. But man, being in the stadium and when they scored, the elation was immediately, oh, this is it figures. This is how it is for us anyway. Nothing can be perfect. And the crowd was not like super behind the players like you wanted them to be with the chance of no David Molad or anything, right? They just you could just feel that everybody was like, oh, okay, this is how it's gonna be. And then at the end of the game, nobody was freaking out. People were just walking away on the
Yeah.
streets, getting to where they needed to be. And the only thing that you were really noticing is that people were more of, no big deal. We're still going to win the Scudetto. But in the stadium, while the game was happening, people were sad for sure. I mean, what did you think about that first half, and how did you think they came out in the second half? And I don't know if you were able to tell who scored the goal when we did, but I had no idea. Nobody in the stadium did. We were all looking at each other. Oh my God, who scored? Who scored? Waiting for Decibel to make his announcement, and then he does. And like, oh my God, Oliveira. So that was pretty cool. But I mean, from your perspective, watching it on TV, what did you think about the game in general and how they played?
I mean, technically, we still played our game. We just literally weren't clinical, just didn't finish. We've talked about this for the past 3 4 weeks now. It's becoming a big concern, especially because we don't have any injuries up front that are allowing this to happen. We still have Osimhen, Cavada, we have Lozano, Raspadori, Zielinski. All these people are here. Like we have shot takers. We have them here.
Mm, mm,
Sorry, I don't really think Lozano's a shot taker. He's more of a run on the right side wing, cross it in. But anyways, he's still there. He has the ability to take the shots, and we have people for it. It's been terrible. Our form isn't bad. It's just that right there. We need to finish. Like all credit due to Ochoa, amazing goalkeeper. He's the only reason Salernitana are even on this unbeaten streak because let me tell you, they would have conceded way more goals. I've been watching his past highlights. Serie A posted his best moments actually yesterday, and I saw it. I'm like, yeah, this guy's the real deal. So here's the problem though. All of our shots were soft. They went right to the goalie. He probably only had trouble with 2 of our shots, and one of them hit the woodwork. So how much more really can we do, right? We need to finish. We need to finish.
yeah.
And I don't want to hear people blaming Lozano on the right wing. He played an okay game. He allowed playmaking. He created. I think it was like 2 or 3 chances. He had some nice crosses in there and no finish. I think Osimhen had like a nice little header, but once again went right to Ochoa, right to him.
Yeah.
Defense, they also played good too. They all played their game, especially Kim, very calm. It was just that last play. Like everyone was asleep, especially Jesus. Honestly, I don't really agree with Spalletti taking out Oliveira. Even on that yellow, he was just having his game. You can't really stop that, especially bringing in someone like Juan Jesus, who we know is not that guy. I mean, he has experience. He's an okay player, but he's not that guy. And seeing that last play and him not closing down on Dia, that pissed me off so much. And I saw that live on TV. I was like, "What are you doing? Close in!" Nothing. And then even Cavada, like I understand he is behind him. Even Cavada was like slow behind him too, like not really causing any like pressure.
No,
Guys,
yeah.
it's the 83rd minute. We're about to clinch the Scudetto. Like, what are we doing? Like, I mean, if I was on that field, I'm going crazy all over the place. I'm making sure nobody's going nowhere. Like, especially being up 1-0, like seeing the stadium. Like, I understand why Osimhen started crying after the match. Like, he knows, and then he also knows he was partly responsible for that goal. I mean, yeah, he's not a defender. We don't expect him to play defense, but he got juked the fuck out. He did.
Yeah.
But that's not his responsibility. He tried his part, and then Jesus didn't close in. Not even just Jesus. We could have had at least 2 more defenders just close in. Somebody should have closed in. He had 3 valuable seconds to take that shot and curl it in. That's all I'm saying. That's really all I saw this game that was bad. I mean, we had possession at 73, 74%. We played our game. There's really nothing more to say. Against Udinese, man, no loss or tie. Get this dub, fellas. Get this dub. Play your heart out. Udinese, we knew Salernitana was going to play. They're a southern rival. We beat them 5-1 at home or away over there. They're not happy about that. That was the season still. They know our opportunity, what we have coming. So players naturally are going to play hard. They're not going to want you to win. They're not going to let you win. So Napoli should understand this. And Udinese, it ain't going to be no easier. And it's going to be even tougher because it's a better squad. So, fellas, get a grip, focus in, lock in. Let's get this done. Let's allow the fans to celebrate. They deserve this. Y'all deserve this. We all deserve this.
Mario, you got that 5-1 in your mind. It's stamped, don't you? We beat Juve 5-1, not Salernitana.
My mind's all
You're
over the
probably
place.
thinking,
I'm feeling sick. I'm thinking we just beat Juve the other week. I'm thinking about wins right now, not fuckery.
yeah. Shit. I mean, yeah. I mean, you hit the nail on the head with everything. I think we're creating, like we are absolutely playing our game when it comes to creating and getting the ball into areas where it needs to be to score a goal. We're just not finishing, man. I mean, not even Victor is scoring right now, you know what I mean? So it is concerning. I also think that there's a problem that's going on tactically with how teams realize that they can double Cavada and that can take a huge effect on our attack, right?
Big.
So, I mean, I recorded a review of that game with Joe Fischetti last night, and we were talking about some of this, and one of the things that we believe is a problem is teams have figured out how to play us, and is Spalletti going to try to to do something about that next year, whether it's with players or maybe he looks at a formation change, or at least he's willing to be a little bit flexible and switch up the formation when he needs to. Because, yeah, I do think that teams have figured us out a little bit. They can take away Cavada, and that can have a detriment effect on our overall attack. But the second part is we need to finish. When we have opportunities, we've got to be more clinical, like you said.
Yep.
We have to finish our opportunities. We can't we can't shoot the ball on goal right at the goalie. We have to be able to have the ability to find spaces in front of net that get past the goalie, because man, Serie A has some of the best goalie keepers in the world, man. And if you're going to shoot the ball and it's going to be right at them, very rarely are you going to get, say, a deflection or a rebound where
Right.
somebody else might be able to jump on it. They're going to save it. They're going to get it out of the area, or they're going to catch it. So yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. It is concerning, but I am confident that over the summer, Spalletti will figure some things out. He'll look at trying to get a player or two that can make differences that he wants. Maybe somebody on that right wing that can be more of a threat to score, so that we can take more of the defenders to that side of the pitch
Right.
away
Exactly.
from
We
Cavada.
need help. We need
I
help
mean,
on the
yeah,
right side.
yeah, for sure, man, for sure, for sure.
So with that being said, do you have any more input on the game?
No, I mean, I'll be honest. I was upset afterwards.
Of course.
More like I think I mentioned before, more upset for the fans that have been waiting 33 years and the families that were there and everything. And it took me a minute just to put everything into perspective. Waking up the next morning wasn't the easiest thing to do, realizing that that actually happened. So, oh man, we'll get into the Udinese game in the next segment, but just to talk a little bit about the game tonight, Lazio at home playing versus Sassuolo. That's not a gimme win for Lazio, and I don't want them to clinch the Scudetto from the hotel, like you already mentioned. I absolutely do not want that either. I think the players in the club deserve to celebrate on the pitch where they train day in and day out. So I'm hoping that Lazio gets that victory so that they have the opportunity to put that Salernitana disaster behind them and to win it on the field. Yeah,
I
yeah,
agree.
that's
Let's hope
all.
for the
That's all I really
best.
got to say about it. What's that, man?
Let's hope for the best. That's all we can do now. We next play the tie
Yeah,
against
sure.
Salernitana, so what's going to happen against Udinese? No one knows. But I expect Napoli to come up with a dub. I'm expecting a scoreline of maybe 2 goals, 3 goals for Napoli. Udinese might slip one in there, but don't be surprised if we come out with a clean sheet. That's all I'm going to say. So I'm going to give a 2-0 Napoli score.
Ooh, I
Yeah, it's
think
tough.
3-1, 3-1, maybe 2-1.
Okay. Yeah, 2-1 sounds more reasonable if you're a betting man. But yeah, 2-0 for me.